Fellas, AC here. Welcome to another video. And today I'm going to do a countdown of 25 most notable discoveries I've made in 2019. See, the thing is, this year I've sampled more than I usually sample. So I'm guessing I've sampled about 250. So what I did was I took 10% of what I've sampled and I thought I'll put it out in a video to you guys. It might help you in exploring or testing and prioritizing your purchases, especially for those people who identify their tastes with my kind of taste. So here it is. What I've done is divided those 25 fragrances into 4 categories. A lot of work has gone into this video, so don't forget to push the like button if you do like the video. So 4 categories, yeah? Value is the first one. Second one is creative complexity, which is absolutely essential for me when I spend a lot of money. Luxurious or opulent fragrances is the third category, and the fourth category is compliments. So what I've done is, this is not evenly divided. I'll start with value. You know, sometimes I come across fragrances which are incredible value. There is absolute no-brainers, and I thought I'll pick 3 most important fragrances from a value perspective and just put it in the video to start with. Excuse me. So the first one is from a house that I recently did a review of. It's a house, it's an indie house, and the parfumer is Mridul Chopra, and his fragrances have really struck a chord with me. This guy normally does inspired fragrances, but he's done a lot of original work which I've requested to be sent to me so that I can review them. But this one is inspired by Tuscan leather. It's called Leather Royale. This one has really impressed me, and I don't care if this is inspired by Tuscan leather. What he's done to this fragrance is outstanding. He's brought in a very boozy orange liqueur to the mix, and I've done an exclusive review on YouTube for this one. Do check it out. But what I wanted to tell you guys is, when I bring in a fragrance like this into my collection, I think the value this fragrance brings in is incredible. Fragrance is high quality, it is complex, it has got depth, it has got character, it's got personality, and it doesn't cost that much. That's the thing. So I think it's incredible value. It's been done beautifully. It might remind you of Tuscan leather a little bit, but as I said, it's a creative take on Tuscan leather, and it's beautiful, really wearable. Tuscan leather, to me, is very difficult to wear. I will review it soon. I've got a decant somewhere. I find it difficult to wear. This one, I can't get enough of. I'm going to get a full bottle soon. So when it comes to value, this really impressed me. High value scent, doesn't cost that much, and very high quality scent. So next one on my list is a fragrance which I was not expecting it to be so good. And again, it was a YouTube exclusive, and it's by a brand some love, some hate, some just ignore. This one should not be ignored. It's Armaf Legesi. Check out my full review. It's inspired by Chanel Platinum Egoist. Loved it. It's got this lipsticky, waxy vibe to it, which I love, because that waxy, lipsticky vibe is there in Auphorie by MFK. And one big reason for me to like Auphorie is that. So this one is bringing in that waxy, lipsticky vibe with the Chanel Platinum Egoist signature, which is lavender, bergamot. It's kind of sparkly, waxy at the same time. And I wore it to work when I was testing it, and one of my colleagues mentioned, "You smell really classy today." Now, from an Armaf standpoint, which costs very little money, to get that sort of a compliment, and I was wearing it on a suit, was really satisfying. So very high value fragrance. If you're interested, do check out my full review. One of the big finds for me in 2019, undisputed. Next on my list is a fragrance which has incredible value in my books. Now, this is again one of the exclusive reviews I did on YouTube, and it's inspired by a Chanel which is very hard to get hold of. This one is called Oriental Tang, Shanghai Tang, sorry, Shanghai Tang, oh, I always forget this name, Oriental Pearl by Shanghai Tang. So I get confused because both the names are Oriental to me, so I get confused between the brand name and the fragrance name. So this one is a take on Coromandel EDT. So Coromandel EDT has a very lemony, spicy patchouli, which is missing in the EDP, which is what you get nowadays. So there's no white chocolate here. But this is basically very close to, in my books, very close to the EDT formulation of Coromandel. This is very synthetic but beautifully made. High value for money because it emulates a Chanel, which costs about £500 if you want to get it, the vintage. So in my books, this was a great find of 2019. So check it out, Oriental Pearl by Shanghai Tang. Odd name, great fragrance. Now, value one is done. Next category is, and pardon me if I'm flicking through my notes because 25 fragrances, I find it very difficult to remember. So the next category is creative complexity. It's very important for me. And you know, when I spend a lot of money on a fragrance, my biggest criteria is it complex? Will it hold my attention for a long time? So the first one in the list is Nishane Sultan Vetiver. Now, I love to call this the finest vetiver fragrance on the planet. I'm a vetiver lover and I've sampled and I've got most of the most celebrated vetiver fragrances in the Fracom. I've got all of them. Yeah, name it, I've got it. But still, when I smelt it, Sultan Vetiver took me by complete surprise, and Sultan Vetiver now drives me insane because of its complexity. You get every single hue of vetiver present known to mankind. You get the lemony side, you get the earthy side, you get the dirty side, you get the woody side, you get the chalky green side. It's just amazing, guys. This vetiver, I've done a full review, you can check it out. That was a YouTube exclusive as well, and you can check it out in full detail. But this was an outstanding vetiver find, which has got complexity in bag loads. Yeah, Sultan Vetiver. Nishane is a brand which is really striking chord with me nowadays. Next one is a designer which took me by surprise. This house is really doing very well. It's Gucci Memoir d'une Odeur. Now this one took me by surprise because in nowadays designers, you know, either they're sweet or they are ambroxan filled. This one is very different. It is based on a note of chamomile and brings in a beautiful clean musk. Yeah, it's fizzy, it's beautiful, it's really very pure smelling scent, but it doesn't last a long time, 4 to 6 hours max. I've done a full review, you can check it out. But Memoir d'une Odeur is basically a brave man's attempt at bringing something different to the table. Very impressed. It's not complex, but it's creative. That's why I put it in this category. I really enjoyed it. I haven't got a full bottle yet, but I will. So that was the next one. Okay, after that, okay. Now, this is from a niche house which I don't rate a lot. The house is Xerjoff. Now, most of the Xerjoff I've tried are basically reminiscent of well-known designer fragrances. And that is to me in the same parlance as Parfums de Marly. And I am very careful with my money when I want to spend huge amounts of money. I want to spend it on a brand which gives me more value. Xerjoff doesn't do that for me. But this fragrance does. It's called Zefiro by Xerjoff. It's part of the Renaissance collection. And Zefiro is the only fragrance for which I would shell out money when it comes to Xerjoff. Why? Because it's complex, it's unusual, it doesn't remind me of a designer brand or designer fragrances. But this is a daring scent. It's full of ambroxan, absolutely loaded with ambroxan. But ambroxan is very well integrated with a very fine note of sweet white wine. And then it's got this amazing incense and resins and then spices, cardamom, I believe. I'm going to do a full review soon, but this was a discovery because I was getting disappointed with Xerjoff. I tried 2 or 3 of them and they're great fragrances, but just reminded me of designers. So Xerjoff Zefiro was a discovery for me. I really enjoyed it and I'm going to do a full review and I'm going to get a full bottle myself. Next one is basically a case of, you know, being left high and dry. It's from a house which is based out of Malaysia, I believe. It's called Auphorie. And the name of the fragrance is Mayura. What a stunning fragrance, guys. But this was released in 2015 and then vaulted in 2016. Mayura really caught my attention because I like complex fragrances. This is immensely, insanely complex. It's basically a floral chypre, but that's just oversimplifying. Yeah, it reminds me of Guerlain Derby. It reminds me of Chanel No. 5. It reminds me of so many other fragrances, but still it manages to basically surprise me beyond belief. The complexity of this fragrance is unmatched, and I'll review this soon because it's worth reviewing, and I'm so lucky to have only this much in my collection. But this was such a discovery this year. I mean, Mayura just floored me. It's a 10 out of 10 fragrance in terms of complexity, in terms of quality. It's very old school. So don't go buying blind. You can't buy anything. I mean, you can't buy Mayura. It's just very difficult to get hold of. But the complexity of the fragrance really floored me. Next is another one of those fragrances which focuses on one note but brings in two facets of that note. Incense. It's called Mandala by a house which is really impressing me. Masque Milano. Now Mandala is a Buddhist word which loosely translates to system. Now Buddhists have this own way of praying and calculating stuff, and mandala is a word which is used in Sanskrit as well and loosely translates to system. This fragrance is inspired by the Tibetan monasteries. Yeah, you know that Tibet is so arid and so cold that everything appears crystal clear because there is sunlight, oodles and oodles of sunlight, but it's absolutely cold. The fragrance brings in that airy, cold aspect, along with when you enter a monastery, you obviously smell burning incense and deep chanting Buddhist voices. So there's something deep here, there's something airy here, there's something cold here, and it's very complex. But it focuses on two notes, resins and incense. I'll do a full review soon, but if you like incense and resins, you should try Mandala. Mandala is extremely expensive, but it's really going to scratch that itch when you want to smell something complex, something different, something, not very well known. That's what I would say about Mandala. Absolutely stunning. Well, next on my list is from a house which is making a lot of waves. Everybody's talking about this house. It's an indie house. It's called Francesca Bianchi, and the name of the fragrance is The Dark Side. Now, Francesca Bianchi, it's a funny one. She basically makes fragrances which are opulent, extremely opulent. I've tried 3 or 4 of them. I like this one the most, although I could feature all those 4 in this particular list. But this is my favorite, The Dark Side. Now, The Dark Side is not dark at all. It's actually luminous, bright, radiant, and very deep. Yeah, but all her fragrances are inspired by sex. So this one is all about, I would only say, why is this called a dark side? I do not know. This is not dark at all. Now, to my nose, this is waxy iris, deep, beautiful, sensual vanilla, and many other notes which I can't remember. But dark side took me right into that zone where I said, I need a bottle. I straight away need a bottle, and that feeling hasn't gone away. So this is in my to-buy list, and I'm going to try a few more. But if you think about it, this lady is obsessed with sex. I mean, this is her picture, and she looks pretty randy herself. So this is a unique house. Her fragrances are all inspired by the act of sex. And The Dark Side is a very cuddly scent. Yeah, if you're in your bedroom and you spray one, I think you're going to drive your other half completely crazy, insane with lust. This is a very sexy, lusty fragrance. Yeah, and not only is it lusty, it's also very creative, complex, interesting, intriguing. It'll hold your attention. It's something that you haven't smelt anywhere. Very unique as well. Quite complex, develops a lot. Loved it. I'm going to get a full bottle. Now, next, again, sticking to the subject of sex. This one is a fragrance which, when I first sprayed, immediately put my mind into that zone where, if you've ever been kissed by a woman who wears very heavy lipstick, wears very heady fragrances, and is a deep kisser, you know. So imagine a very wealthy cougar, right? And you're having a very scandalous love affair with her, an Italian cougar, you know, really wild woman. This is how this fragrance smells. Look at the bottle. It's called Ferre by Ferre. This one is so complex. I think it's got 27 notes, and it features, you know, what it told me was, this is how perfumery used to be. 1991 is when this was created, right? It's powdery, it's smoky, it's floral, it's fruity, right? And it's got this beautiful, seductive, animalic base, sandalwood civet, I think. But I'll have to check the notes. But, you know, the picture I drew in front of you, that kiss by a heavy smoker, very wealthy, you know, middle-aged woman. That is how it smells. But don't let me put you off, guys. The house of Ferre thinks this is the best fragrance they have created. Yeah? So that tells you something about Ferre by Ferre. What a discovery this was. And the next one, the final one, the creative complexity category is now 10 out of 10. Loved it the moment I tried it. It's Femme by Rochas. Now this is again a chypre. I think it's a fruity chypre because there are 3 fruits: apricots, plum and peach, along with some superb oak moss and jasmine. The richness of this fragrance is mind-boggling. If you want to learn how complex chypres are, you have to try this fragrance. There's a new iteration of this which was released in 2013, I believe, or 2017. I can't remember, but you know, Femme just got me. Just took me by the scruff of my neck and just told me, I think this is Ferre, this is Femme, just told me that you need to focus on the real deal. By God, this is amazing. You know, Femme is mind-bogglingly wonderful. So, next category. So we're done with creative complexity. Next category, as you know, I like opulent, rich fragrances, and it's about luxurious fragrances. Finds that I term them as luxurious. So the first one is by Areej Le Dore. Now this is a Sauvage bottle. Some of my friends really like to pull my leg on this. And this is Russian Oud by Areej Le Dore. I tell you what, the bottle was faulty. So my friend recanted it into a Sauvage bottle, and I have no problems with that. This one is not animalic. I'm not a big lover of oud because I don't like... I can withstand skank, but what I can't withstand is the same old woody stuff. I get bored. Now this one is no skank. Deep, rich, creamy oud with tons of cacao, chocolatey cacao note, and many other notes. Oh, there's real Siberian deer musk, obviously with permission of the Russian government, but real musk. So you can imagine, you know, there's oud, there is cacao, there is musk. So sex in a bottle, really. Really animalic, not skanky, depth, complexity, luxury, opulence to the core. It's just amazing. It's by far one of the best oud fragrances in my collection. Now it's almost impossible to get hold of because it's not available anymore. So I saw a bottle the other day on eBay being sold for £699, 700 pounds. So I consider myself extremely lucky to have Russian oud in my collection. So next one is again by the house of Masque Milano, and it's called Lucci Hombre. Lucci Hombre got me because this is hot and cold kind of a fragrance. This fragrance in this cold weather, when I was wearing it outdoors, it has this amazing warmth. It's centered around tuberose, and tuberose, as you know, has this narcotic, seductive smell. It has that narcotic, seductive smell, but it also has this freshness about it, as if a soapy neroli has been used. It's a floral, but it's not leaning feminine. It's unisex, but it's very alluring and very rich and luxurious. Something that really got me. So I'm going to get a full bottle of Lucci Hombre. If you're interested in the Masque Milano house, there are 2 that I think very highly of. The other one is Can't remember the name now, but La Tessa, that's a nice one as well, but I didn't put it in the list because it would have been dominated by a single brand. But Masque Milano is a house I'm looking at deeply. Next one is a fragrance which caught me by surprise. My bottle is on the way because I just thought I couldn't live without that bottle. The moment I smelled it, I thought, wow, I need it. So it is by Perris Monte and it's called Rose de Taif Extrait. There are two versions of it. I'm talking about the Extrait version. When I first smelled it, I'm not a rose lover. I wasn't a rose lover, now I am. Now I've had the chance of trying the Masque rose. Yeah, I got mine from ML Ram Narayan, India, Kannauj. This is the Masque rose. When I tried Taif rose in Rose de Taif Extrait, I understood that how different these varieties of rose are, and the depth and the luxurious richness of that fragrance immediately took over me, and I thought I need a bottle of this. So I'm going to get a bottle and do a full review. But as far as rose fragrances go, I think it's the finest rose fragrance I've smelled. Very expensive, and I think it's discontinued. But I was lucky enough to find a bottle. Rohit has sourced it for me from India, and it's on its way. So when I receive it, I'll do a full review. Next, again, a new house, indie house, just like Francesca Bianchi. This is an Italian house, I believe. Bellisima. Bellisima has created a fabulous fragrance with some amazing notes called white leather. This one has this unusual note of guava. Along with guava, there's this beautiful leather and many other aromatic herbs and notes I can't remember. But this got me. And my bottle is on the way. I've purchased a bottle. And I think when it comes to leather and fruits, they go really well. Or leather and booze. But the trick here was not to make the fragrance sweet. Because, you know, designers do that all the time. So this is where white leather has this unique proposition, value proposition of not being sweet, very luxurious, deep, fleshy leather. Loved it. The leather is not animalic and the leather is not masculine. Absolutely stunning. Next on my list is a fragrance which was created for the Queen of Spain, no less. It's a Creed, and it's the only full bottle of Creed. What a discovery this was for 2019. It's Creed's Vanizia. It's got this amazing vanilla, and that vanilla reminds me of Shalimar, and I'm a massive fan of Shalimar. Along with that, there's a beautiful jasmine note. This is amazingly opulent, rich, deep, and seductive. Yes, it's feminine, but doesn't become feminine, girly feminine. It's like Shalimar, yeah? It's marketed towards women, but pretty unisex. Especially, I think there's a animalic note of rose, I believe. Animalic rose, which makes the fragrance veer towards unisex. Love it. Very regal. Really, really, very regal fragrance. So, guys, next on my list is an Amouage. This is, by the way, number 17 in the list. So, 8 or 9 more to come. Now, this Amouage is one of the most unique Amouages in my collection. My Amouage collection is growing fast. This one is Sunshine Man. This is lavender drenched in brandy and then laced with a creamy vanilla. It's just amazing, guys. This is one of those fragrances when I really want to go and portray an image of someone extremely confident and someone extremely attractive. That's when I put this on. I really want to be in the mood to show off. That's when I put this on, because this fragrance is not only luxurious, it's got this amazing aura about itself. And I've featured this in many of my videos now. One of the best acquisitions of 2019 as far as complex niche fragrances go, you know. Sunshine Man, what a beautiful fragrance it is. I'll do a full review very soon. I know I've been promising that for a while now, but I'll make it happen. Now, obviously, in 2020. Next, number 18 is a Guerlain. A Guerlain which is newer Guerlain, and I absolutely loved the creativity and the luxurious nature of this fragrance. This is downright gorgeous. It is Neroli Outre Noir. Now, my full bottle or partial will arrive soon, but I've got a beautiful 5 ml decant and I was floored by this fragrance. It's basically focused around Neroli, but the beautiful note of tea, one of the finest green tea notes I've ever smelled. And it's coupled with petitgrain as well, and the other notes which I can't remember. Orange. Orange is the other prominent note. Now, it's sprightly, it's deep, it's gorgeous, it's glamorous. Neroli Outre Noir. If you're a Guerlain fan, try Neroli Outre Noir. I highly recommend, because of its just sheer quality of this fragrance. Such a high quality, creative, beautifully made fragrance. I'll do a full review soon, and as I said, I'm going to get a full bottle or at least a partial very soon. Now, the last category, the compliment gods, the compliment magnets. Now, number 19, this fragrance again, I've done a full review of this fragrance. It is Dolce & Gabbana Mysterious Night. Now this one is not only mysterious, it's alluring, it's rich, luxurious, it's beautiful. Again, this is the fragrance which changed my mind about rose. Because before that, I used to ignore rose. I used to avoid rose because I used to think, that same jammy rose, that synthetic rose without any depth, any character, that's what I used to smell. And I used to think, I don't want this. And also I got an impression rose-based fragrances used to be powdery and hence old mannish. The moment I smelled this, I realized I was missing something in my life. And today I'm a big fan, big convert of rose. This one is an ambery, woody, radiant, bright, deep, mysterious rose. The name is very right. And it's a fragrance which I would wear nighttime, to clubbing, to dates, to romantic occasions. It's just so beautifully made, guys. I mean, doesn't look like a designer, doesn't smell like a designer. It's basically a niche quality fragrance in a designer bottle. It's just beautiful. Love it. Done a full review, you can check it out. Next one is another fragrance which smells absolutely amazing and it gets you heavy compliments. I have worn it twice, 1 or 2 sprays, and every time I've been noticed at work and people have congratulated me on fine taste. My mates mostly. This one is from a house which I don't speak about a lot. It's Memoir Paris, and the name of the fragrance is French Leather. Full review coming soon. What a beautiful fragrance this is. This is sprightly, bright rose, slightly soapy, coupled with a beautiful note of suede, light spices, very aromatic but light spices, and clean muskiness to it. This is a very modern, very beautiful compliment magnet. Just amazingly made, very long lasting, great performance, smells outstanding, guys. Very sexy. That's the word. Really sexy. Next one on my list is from a house which is currently not producing anything because they've got issues, supply chain issues. It's a one-man show and it's run by a guy called Oliver Valverde. Name of the fragrance is Vaninger, vanilla ginger. That's all this fragrance is all about, but it smells absolutely stunning. If you want vanilla fragrance, if you like vanilla, you got to try this. Here it smells like an Italian vanilla ice cream coupled with zinginess of ginger along with raw turmeric, ambroxan and hedione. Hedione is one note which I find very alluring because I've smelt it in Eau Sauvage Parfum. This one, absolutely stunning vanilla. No talk about this one. Vaninger. Currently you can't order it from their website, but soon you will be able to. February, March is what it says on the website. So it's a Spanish house which I'm looking forward to sampling quite a few of. Oliver and Company. Next one is a house which I'm liking a lot at the moment. It is Nishane Hacivat. This is inspired by Aventis, but it's not smoky pineapple. It's a green, creamy, sprightly, bright, shimmering pineapple. Absolutely amazing performance. This is nuclear strength fragrance inspired by Aventis, but to my nose, it's not about a Ventus. It's about using a pineapple note, coupling it with a lot of fizzy citrus notes and woodiness, and in the dry down it brings in a very nice calming mossy effect. Lovely fragrance with nuclear projection, nuclear performance, so versatile. This is why I like Nishane. You know, they have superb performance and they smell great. So Hacivat, full review coming soon, was one of the best finds when it comes to the fresh category, along with Neroli Outre Noir. So next one, and it is not on this list because this was by a friend of mine. It is a fragrance which has been created by a fellow YouTuber, Mr. Smelly, and it is Gravitas Pour. This was really a discovery, and I'm so delighted he decided to send a little bottle to me. Gravitas Pour is about creamy, sort of clementine or mandarin rather. So sweet, fizzy creaminess along with lavender and a beautiful green cardamom. It's a fabulous, high quality fragrance made with a lot of heart. Loved it. And I decided to put it in this list because it was definitely a discovery, a proper discovery. I encourage you to either sample it or buy it. I think now you can't. You'll have to wait till March when it goes for general release. But Gravitas Pour was fabulous. Really loved it. Next on my list is a fragrance which I have done a full review of. You can check it out. It's by a brand which I don't own another fragrance from. Only one bottle. It is Vetiver Ambrato by Boa 1920. I love Vetiver. Here, the Vetiver has been combined with a deep labdanum, beautiful note of labdanum, and further augmented by herbs and spices. You can check out my full review. But this is one of those fragrances which has got people in a tizzy at work. There's some of my women colleagues that have smelled it on me when we were discussing stuff, and they were like trying to get close to me and try to take deep breath because this is so alluring, so relaxing. Vetiver is anyways relaxing, and there's this beautiful note of labdanum and benzoin, I believe, which creates a terrific warmth and alluring quality. Very friendly, very open, yeah, beautiful, magnetic fragrance. Loved it. One of the best discoveries of 2019. Done a full review. You can check it out. The last one is another one of those blockbuster fragrances. The moment I smelled it, I wanted a full bottle. I got a full bottle, and it is stunning. It's Costume National Soul. Some people have, after watching my review, gone ahead and bought this fragrance, and they've come back and said, what a stunning fragrance this is. This is again a bright, radiant amber combined with oud and many other notes which I can't remember, but this is as sexy as hell. This fragrance is for those people who really want attention because it projects a lot, want attention. They want to be seen as a person who wears classy things, has a lot of fashion sense, is very modern. These are the qualities of this fragrance. Amazing date night, even work scent. I've worn this to work, no problems at all. Very bright and beautiful and radiant. Amazingly gregarious fragrance. What a beautiful find this is of 2019. That was the end. Hope you liked the review. You can see the amount of work that has gone into the video. So do give it a like if you can. Take care. Bye-bye.